Hello, hello, hello everybody. I am back. I am back in my craft studio. I am happy to be here, but I will be honest, after 2 weeks of traveling, I still have a lot of stuff to do to get my life organized. So I really don't have a lot of time to be in here today, but I wanted to do something creative. But I'll be honest, I'm not feeling very crafty and creative today. So I wanted to come talk to you about what do you do? What do you do when you know you need to get back into it, but you're just not feeling it, or you're struggling to come up with creative ideas? And I have a binder here that has lots of different workshops I've taken, sketches that I've seen, just different project playbooks, different things that I have found over the years that I really liked, that I was inspired by, that I keep in here. And so I go through my stash and look and see, what do I have to do that is pretty easy. I can just follow a sketch and get moving. So one of the things I worked on when I was away was I did my May virtual crop for Creative Memories, but I knew that I had a lot missing that I have not finished. So based on that, I went through, I first looked at the February sketch, but I'll be honest, I wasn't super excited about that sketch. So I moved on to March, and I found this March virtual sketch number 1. And I thought, oh, I think these will work for pictures that we took this past weekend with James. And so I went ahead and I printed those. And then I was like, okay, now I just need the background pages and all of that. So I want to talk to you just a minute about that, because when I first saw these papers, I thought, you know what? I think this will do with my outdoor. Let me see if I can grab it, because I don't remember, but I have a lot of this paper left, and I thought, oh, this might work good. It's called Getting Outside. And so I had originally pulled this paper, and I thought, oh, I'll use this paper for this sketch. And I kind of laid it out. These pages obviously weren't going to work good, but it had this pretty blue, so I thought maybe that would work. And I could come up with that. And then it actually has this light green. And so then I thought, oh, well, maybe I can do light green in the middle with the blue. And I was trying to make that work. And long story short, I just wasn't feeling it. I felt like the paper was becoming too much the focus, and it was making it, I don't know, more formal or something. So I went to my binder. You all know that I keep a binder with all of my pages and papers, and I started sorting through, and I found these papers. And I really liked how subtle this flower print was. I don't even know what's on the back of it, y'all. I just liked how it was kind of a garden party theme, and I liked the way that garden party theme looked. And I liked this blue. The blue came from Natural Beginnings. I felt like it matched Olivia's skirt perfectly, and the colors. It was nice of the boys to color coordinate for me. So I thought, okay, we'll start with this. This looks great. So when you look at a virtual sketch, right? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to cut a frame. This is 11.5 by 11.5, and probably a 1-inch frame just makes it easy. So we will go ahead and I will cut this down to 11.5 by 11.5. So that means I just need to take off a 1/2 inch off of each side. And then I don't have a lot of this blue paper left, so I am going to gut it, and I'm going to gut it at 1 inch just because that's easy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in my mat. Y'all, I'm going back to my gray mat because my blue mat has been causing me some troubles when I've been designing, just because it's got that blue on the background. I don't know if you all watched my videos last week, but I found that your eye naturally incorporates that as part of your page. All right. So now we've got the first part of this done, which is my background. Now, before I put this all down, I did debate putting a little bit of a light blue inked edge around the side, and I think I am going to go ahead and do that. I have this really pretty color called Faded Blue Jean, I think is what it's called. It is not a Creative Memories color, but it's really pretty. It's called Faded Blue Jeans. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to softly ink right around the edges of the paper. So I'm going to bring in a junky piece of paper here. I should not have put my ink down, my adhesive down first, but I did. And then I always start on the outside, and I'm just going to go lightly right around the edge, just to give it a little definition, but not too much. I don't know, it gives it a little bit of a sky, summer sky, garden party vibe. It's kind of what I'm feeling, what I'm wanting to do. This was such a good day with James and Olivia. It was good to see them and just celebrate them. I'm excited about the future. All right, so I like that. I'm going to keep that out in case I decide I want to use that color again. I'm going to bring my frame back in, and then this is going to go on the 1/4 inch. I like that. I like how it just softens the edge a little bit and it makes it blend all in together. So then the next thing that we need to do based on the sketch is we have these 2 decorative elements. Now on her example, she actually split her pictures apart, and each of these little sections is one section, but I just don't like that. So I'm going to keep mine as a solid section across. And so we need a scallop edge of some sort of decorative edge. But when I was looking at my BMCs, I went to pull out scallop and I found Flourish Vine. And Flourish Vine, I thought this will be perfect for a garden theme. So I went ahead and I cut an edge of it out. And then my thought was that I would use the scallop over top of it and then my pictures. So it would look like this. This is what my original plan was, but I don't love it. I didn't like it at all. And I just felt like the scallop wasn't really working. So then I tried to reverse it. What if I did the scallop on the outside and then the Flourish Vine? And I don't love that either. So then I thought, well, what if I do 2 scallop borders or 2 Flourish Vine borders like this? It's all just about auditioning. And I liked that very much. I feel like that is the vibe. That is the vibe I'm going for. It's very garden party-esque. So that is what we're going to do. So I've already cut it once here, so I can go ahead and use this. The sketch says 3 3/4 by 3/4, so this is supposed to be 3/4, which is really going to be too small for mine. So I'm going to cut it at 1 inch, and that'll go along the top. And then we need to cut one more. And again, I'm thinking about maybe just putting a little bit of an edge on it. I'm just going really lightly just to make it pop just a little bit more off of the page. I'm not even inking, I'm just using what's on the brush. It just gives it a tiny, tiny bit of definition so that it'll pop off the page. Cut this one down by 1 inch, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. This will go along the bottom. So then what we need to see is if that's not quite big enough. I really like this blue. I wish I had a ton of it. All right, so the measurement on here, the way that we're going to do this, the easiest way I know to do this is we're going to go ahead and put this in. Now you could mathematically figure it out. You would need to add 3 3/4 3 times. I also did not use bright white. I used Stardust White just because I like the coloring on that one. All right. Did anybody figure out what that was? It basically ends up being 11 1/4. Let's see how close did I come. Let's see how close did I come. I came pretty close. I might be off just a little tiny bit. I'm off just a little tiny bit. Let me see. It was pretty close. Pretty close. And then if I measure from here to here, that's just shy of 1 inch. So I am going to give myself just shy of 1 inch on this part. I'm sitting right at 7 1/4 on this side. So it was 11 1/4 by 7 1/4. See, I love how that looks. It's much prettier. It's much more subtle. It's more garden, English garden vibe, which is kind of what I was going for. But I did think about using this color. I did think, let's just put it on here for just a minute. I mean, I thought about doing that. Let's just put it so you can see. I don't know. I'm feeling the lighter colors today, I guess. That's just all there is to it, is I'm feeling the lighter colors. All right, so now we're gonna add these, and these are just gonna slide right underneath this one, like this. Oh, I love that. I love it. Okay, so now I'm done with all of that, and we are to the fun part of embellishing. And I want it to be a garden party, so for embellishing, I think I want to bring in flowers. And I have 2 different flower punches that I thought might be good. I have this one and I have this one, Sweet Blossoms. I also have embossed blossoms. And then, okay, this, you guys know me, and I honestly, I do not pressure anybody ever to buy things. There are a few things that I die hard by. My Creative Memories trimmer is one of them. The mats, I feel like everyone needs a mat. Everyone needs a Creative Memories trimmer. Those 2 things are just, you gotta have them. This punch, which is the new punch, which is Spring Blooms, is an amazing punch. If y'all don't have this punch, you really should consider it. And the reason you should consider it is this. It not only has 3 cute little flowers that you can always add onto any page for embellishments, but it has this little tiny floral element which is perfect to add to clusters. So I have used that little leaf embellishment on so many layouts already. Spring blooms, you can still get it. This would be one of those that I just think everybody should have it in their punches. It really works really well. So these are the ones that I have, and now it's just a matter of embellishing. And so I think I want to cut a few blue flowers, and I just want to see what they're going to look like. I think I'm going to use this scratch piece of paper. Oh, I didn't get it all the way through, but I just kind of want to see. I don't love that very much, but maybe the darker side. See, this is where we're going to be able to pull in some of the dark blue. So I like it on the dark blue. And then let's do some of these. I did punch a few already. I like the white. I definitely think we need some white flowers, but we might need bigger white flowers. I looked at my floral essentials and I don't have any blue, so that wasn't going to work for me. And this is where you can just line up underneath and get the piece you want. Just make sure you turn it the right direction when you punch. So this is literally what I'm going to do now to embellish this up. I am going to look through my stash at all of my different little embellishments. I kind of like that. That's cute. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to need to pull in a pretty green for some flowers, I think. And I have this sitting on my desk, and there's scraps here. I literally have this sitting on my desk, or by my desk. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do a little scrap of one and see what I think. I like the darker. Which I do. But I also think I'm going to want some bigger leaves. Right? Because that's going to help me tie in. That's going to help me tie in my garden theme, is by adding some of these little leaves. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. So I would go ahead and I would ink around my white flowers, which will be darker, and I will probably do some more. I like those dainty leaves. Do y'all think I should do bigger leaves? Let me see. I've got this. Let's pull some bigger leaves. I have the 5-leaf punch also on my desk. If this ever comes back, this is another one that I would recommend. See, I don't know. I just feel like that might be too big. I kind of like the daintier ones, but you know, I could probably cut it down. Again, I'm auditioning. Literally, that's all I'm doing right now is I'm auditioning different flowers. So I don't like it with that open flower. So I would rearrange that because I want it to. But I really like these dainty leaves too. I just think that adds so much when you do the big ones and the little dainty ones. So I like that a lot. Now let me talk to you about the leaves a little bit. So if a 5-leaf punch ever comes back, you guys just need to pick it up. It's a great one. I request it whenever they ask if you have an idea of what you would like. I always suggest that one. The embossed leaf also we could probably do. What the heck? I don't know, it's a little bit small. I'm not sure I like that one. I think I like the longer ones. I like it to give it a little bit length. Okay, but let me go back to these leaves. So one of the things that I always do on these leaves is I think when you look at this leaf, it just looks too plain, right? It doesn't have any excitement, any dimension. Let me hold it up so you can see. So I don't like that. So what I always do is I always get just a green marker and I add vein lines to it. And I don't have to be exact about it. I just kind of add them on here. I squiggle them. You can also take some ink, trying to give some depth to my leaves. So you can take some ink that is on here and just rub against the edges. Gives it a little bit of a shadow effect. I might want to do it a little bit darker. Oh yeah, I like that better. I need to get more ink out and I'll do that, but just so you get an idea. But then when you put it on here, it just gives it a little bit more dimension. So now when I put that on here and I put it on here with my little leaf, you can see how it adds some excitement to the page. All right, as I'm looking about this, I thought of 2 other collections that I have on hand in my room right here. One is the old wedding collection. I think it's called something blue. I'm looking for it really quickly. And then there's also another one. I think it was summer, I don't know, spring medley. So spring medley kind of has the same colors associated with it. So I just wanted to look really quickly at I have note cards. So I just want to look through it really quickly to see if anything I could use as a title. That might fit. That would help bring in some help bring in some blue. And if I don't use it on this page, I could probably use it on the companion page. So I like that one. So I'm going to pull that one just for now. Nope, I only like that one. Let me see about... Oh, see, so there are some stickers. Here's one that says "This Moment," which I love. So that one I could add in there. Family looks like this. So that one I could definitely add in on my second page for sure. Love this season. There's some flowers just for fun. I've used a lot of the flowers on this. Here's a great one. That's Spring Memories. That's kind of pretty. So this collection is a winner. I think I have some things on here that I could definitely pull into embellishments. And then the other collection was that wedding collection. And I'm looking for it, but I'm not seeing it. So when you're looking at collections, sometimes if you have the whole collection in front of you and you can just use everything in that collection, like I did when I was working on the May crop, and all I had with me was the Beyond the Seashore. So that is the collection that I used. It worked out great, right? Because you have all of your embellishments and everything that you need. But sometimes that doesn't work so great. Here it is, just like I thought. It just was not cataloged in the right order. Something blue. And it is a wedding collection. So maybe we can find some fun wedding things in here. This was their engagement party, so that's why I was thinking. Let's see. My life is better with you, picture perfect, save the date. Celebration might work. Oh, look, here's some more flowers. My true love, love, hearts. Oh, look at those flowers. Those flowers are great. So I will probably incorporate some of these too. So I have these two collections right here where I can incorporate quite a bit of things. This palette actually matches maybe a little bit better than this one, but I do like that that one draws in a little bit of teal. So that's where I am. This is the embellishments. This is where I literally am just going to, I like this one too. Look, forever with a heart. See, this is such a Jenny. Forever with a little heart. We have a new wedding collection coming out. I'm kind of anxious to see what that one's going to be like. A lot of people didn't like this blue one, which I understand. Blue's not really, oh. So I really like this embellishment right here. So I can tell you right now that I am probably going to fussy cut this part out, and then I can use that for my decorations and maybe put a title in there. So I like that one very much. I'm still looking through. There's another one, but that's not as decorative. So I'm trying to use these matte cards. Y'all know I have matte cards up the wazoo. So there's another one with a darker blue. I don't like the darker blue. I like the lighter blue. And that's it for the matte cards. All right, so this is where I'm starting. I will probably add a ribbon because why not? I don't get to do girly pages, and so if I can add ribbon, that's super fun. And we're gonna keep working. Oh, look, I found this embellishment stuck. It says love, love, love. That's kind of cute. It was just stuck on here randomly. I won't make you painfully watch me go through the process of picking everything out, but you get an idea of what I do as I have picked out my paper. I have my general idea. I remembered those two collections. They didn't match with my paper. Again, remember my paper came from, I think it was, I don't even know. This one was like Prairie something. And then the blue came from Natural Beginnings. So they didn't even go with these two collections. I didn't think about these two collections until I started looking at them. There might have been paper in there to begin with, but this is where we are. This is where we started from. This is going to be sketch number 1 on March. And then I'm going to look and see, will any of these other sketches work for a companion page? And that's literally what I do. So we have sketch number 1, and then I can pull out what I have left. So sketch number 2 or sketch number 1 of February, that wouldn't really work. And then I have the last one in March, which is a double page spread, so that's not going to work. So then I'm going to look at April. And April has this funny alligator triangles. And then it has this one with one big photo and some ribbons coming down the side. And this one I might be able to use. So envision this. It's pretty much the same layout as this, right? It doesn't have a frame. I hope you can see. It doesn't have a frame around the outside, but I can add that, right? A sketch is just a starting place. So I could add a frame around the inside, but it does have this middle section, which has a solid with a decorative piece on the top. So I could easily do my decorative border on the top and bottom and the center section. And then it has one ginormous picture in the middle. And what you all don't have here is we have a big family photo with all of us. So I would probably turn it landscape. This is portrait. I would probably turn it landscape for the second page. And then it does use some small photos and like this little banner. But if I turn this sideways, I could easily add a smaller pictures on the side to fill in with a few of the extras that I had of us outside. I'm pretty sure that that's most everybody. And then it has this fun little banner element at the top. So I might be able to include some banners here, like maybe one banner here, a small something banner here, and then use it along my third as my third embellishment on the second page. So that one might work. That's a really good choice. So that was the April. And then on the back side of April, yeah, we have these two and they wouldn't really work. So I'll tell you right now, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to take sketch 2 for April and turn that into the companion page for this. So it doesn't require a whole lot of thought. I can just almost duplicate this and then just incorporate the bigger photo and the banners. So that's what I'm going to do. That is how my creativity is going. If you all could see my desk right now, it is a huge mess. So I'm probably going to clean it up a little bit so that I can think clearly through these embellishments and audition. And I will come back later and post it all so you will be able to see the final. But I'm pretty excited with how this is starting. It's getting me back thinking, getting my creative juices flowing. They haven't been flowing in a couple weeks, so it's just taken me a minute to get back into it. And that's the thing. You just have to get in there. You have to get in there and get started. And then as you get started, those creative juices will start flowing again. So takeaways, sketches are a great thing. If you have sketches, if you see sketches that you like, I always print mine off and put them in a binder. That way, if I'm ever just stuck for ideas, I can flip through my binder very quickly and maybe find something that will work. And when you're thinking about embellishing, think outside of the collection that you're working with, because there may be other collections that have the same color palette, or they might be the same subject. If you're doing sailing, there was seaside that you might use, serene waters that you might use. So a lot of other collections might be able to come into play to help you with embellishing. And one of my top 5, this might end up on my top 5 list for this year, you guys. I really, really would recommend this Spring Blooms bunch. If you don't have it, think about it. It's a good one to have, if for no other reason but this little tiny punch leaf. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Check back later. I'm rambling at this point. You all have a great rest of the day. All right, bye.